Hi all, welcome back to i-tutor Academy. Today we will discuss block 3 of Mmpc 009, that is capacity planning, work and job design and value engineering. And in this block today we are discussing unit 9 and it is capacity planning. So here is unit 3 units are there. Unit 10 work and job design, unit 11 is value engineering and quality assurance. So we will discuss one by one. So just begin this unit 9 capacity planning, and let's see the objectives of this chapter. Understand the concept of capacity and how it is measured. Be aware of the unique problem of capacity planning for services and know the steps involved in capacity planning, and be familiar with the various methods available for predicting long-term capacity requirement. Appreciate the special difficulties encountered in predicting the demand for new and other output having a highly uncertain growth rate, and recognize the factor involved in a generating alternate capacity plans, and have a feel for economic analysis of different capacity plans, and identify the issue involved in analyzing the strategic effect of alternate capacity. And structure of this unit, there is an introduction part and meaning and definition and measure of capacity, process for capacity planning and predicting future capacity requirement, generation of capacity plans, evaluation of alternate capacity plan, summary, keyword and self assessment exercise also here. So let's start with the introduction. And the operation strategy of an organization is revealed to a large extent by its investment made in creation of capacity. And creation of capacity almost always require investments. And in manufacturing organization, this is easy to see the investment required are large. So, however, even in service organizations, capacity creation require more space, furniture, and other accessories, including equipments. And capacity planning involve giving shape to all the strategic questions that we have raised earlier in the previous unit. And please refer last videos. So, and also our responses to this. What are our expectations regarding the growth of the industry and our market share? And how accurately can we predict market trend both in terms of product attribute as well as growth in specific segments, geographical and otherwise? And what is our basic stand towards risk, and should our planning be based on an optimistic growth scenario or pessimistic one? As a strategy, should we create capacity in a few large locations and each with a large capacity, or should we operate from many locations each with a small capacity? And these are some of the questions that have to be answered while preparing a capacity plan. Okay, so there are some other related question which also affect our capacity plan. And what is our policy regarding making up of some temporary shortfalls in capacity, example by use of overtime, additional shift or holiday works? And how much of our requirement can be met by resorting to subcontracting? And what is our policy regarding meeting the market demand, and should we as a matter of policy try to meet it fully, or can we plan for some lost sales at least for some period of time? And all these strategic issues need to be resolved as part of capacity planning, and it is relatively simple to do an economic analysis of the revenue, cost and investment. However, the other strategic effect of capacity decision, example, the consequences of not having the capacity when it is required, or addition of large capacity when the market growth cannot be predicted with much confidence, are more difficult to analyze. We will discuss these issues in this unit. So first of all, meaning, definition and measurement of capacity. What's the meaning of capacity? And capacity is the limiting capability of a productive unit to produce with in a stated time period, and this limiting capacity or capability depend on the intensive of use of productive unit. Okay, so that is the meaning of capacity. Example, by working for 7 days a week instead of six, or resorting to overtime work, or working for two shifts a day, or even three in a place of one, and the capacity of a productive unit can be increased. Okay. And when transformation process in turn consists of many sub processes, the capacity of the system is governed by the capacity of the weakest link of the sub process having a minimum capacity. By strengthening the weakest link by balancing equipment or by subcontracting of some items, the capacity of the entire productive unit can be enhanced. Thus, there can be a licensed capacity denoting the capacity that has been licensed or permitted by the concerned governmental authority, and the installed capacity indicates the capacity that has been provided while the plant was installed. And finally, the rated capacity is based on the highest production rate established by actual trials. And a rough cut capacity planning is the process of checking the feasibility of the master schedule with respect to the available capacity. And measure of capacity, when the productive unit produces a single output and when the different output are relatively homogeneous, capacity is measured in number of units or unit of time. The capacity of some of the manufacturing units and service organization are shown below. So please refer this table. uh, so these are some capacity of some of the manufacturing units. Okay. So next is process for capacity planning. What is the process of capacity planning? Capacity planning is a process that helps to identify the capacity of a production unit that is required for meeting the current and future customer demand. And the design capacity of a system is the rate of output of goods and services under full scale operating condition. And the operation strategy of an organization is revealed to a large extent by its investment made in creation of capacity. And in manufacturing organization, the creation of capacity requires a huge investment, and even in service organization, it requires a good investment for more space and furniture and other accessories, including equipment. And the strategic issue regarding the capacity planning are our expectations regarding the growth of industry and our market share, accurate prediction of market trend. Should we operate from a few large locations, each with a large capacity, or should we operate from many locations, each with a small capacity, and how much of our requirements can be met by the use of overtime, additional shift, or holiday work, or by the use of subcontracting, etc. And the process of capacity planning involves the following 8 steps. One is assess company situation and environment to predict future demands, including the possible impact of technology, competition, and other events. And determine the available capacity, translate the prediction into physical capacity requirements, and develop alternate capacity plan for matching required and available capacity, and analyze the economic effect of alternate capacity plans, analyze the risk and other strategic consequences of alternate plans, and recommend a course of action, implement the course of action. And it may be pertinent to point out that a quantitative analysis of the alternative capacity plan is not enough, because for one, the capacity requirements that are used for this analysis are only estimate and in many cases may not be very reliable, and secondly, the strategic effect are not easy to quantify in most cases. The steps listed above highlight the importance of both quantitative, that is step 5, and qualitative, that is step 6 analysis. Okay. And next is predicting future capacity requirement. And one is mature output with the stable demand growth. Output which are in the maturity phase of their product life cycle exhibit less volatility in their demands. And in the event of the life cycle being long, the demand growth is steady and the demand can be predicted with a great accuracy and confidence. Such outputs being steel, cement, sugar, salt, electricity, textile, municipal service, and hospital service, etc. Long-term and medium-term forecast of the demand of an output are made by using the following casual forecasting method. First is regression analysis. It attempts to develop a forecasting function called a regression equation in which the demand for the output is expressed in terms of other variable which cause or control the demand. And example is here. Next is economic forecasting method. This being an extension of regression analysis include a system of simultaneous regression equation and Delphi method. It is forecasting technique that is qualitative method applied to the subject nature of demand value. This method draw upon a panel of expert in a structured manner to eliminate the possible dominance of the more vocal and more prestigious and the better salesperson in the group. And the essential precaution to be followed in this method, that is panel member must be unknown to each other and the initial question should be unambiguous. Also, it should explain every matter about which opinion is sought, and each exert in the group makes independent prediction in the form of brief statement, and the coordinator edit and clarifies these statements and then provide a series of written questions to the expert along with the feedback by the other experts. Next is market survey. Market survey and other studies on customer behavior provide us with a lot of primary data on the factors such as what makes the customer buy the product and what feature have a high priority in customer preference structure and what are the perception of the competing product and the likely impact of price change and what are the changes to be incorporated in the product, etc. And such a insight can prove to be extremely useful while the long term demand of the product is being predicted. And historical analogy and life cycle analysis, these try to predict the growth of demand of a product by analyzing its progress so far along its product life cycle and also by comparing if the life cycle of another similar product. For instance, the growth of demand of color TV sets can be compared with the life cycle of B or W TV sets, and long-term prediction of color TV sets can be made based on such comparison. Similarly, for CFL versus traditional electric bulb car and CD versus cassettes. Okay. And in case of multiple output, a similar exercise is to be undertaken for each of them and when added. And they provide the capacity required throughout the planning horizon. And if the output are not homogeneous, this might mean a different capacity requirement for each sub process. And predicting future capacity requirement for new output to prepare reliable long-term demand forecast for new products in their introduction or even through rapid growth phase is very difficult task. And this also true for mature product where the capacity planning is dependent on availability of supplies, and this could be risky, for example for petroleum, as the uncertainty involved in such cases is higher, and we should try to take into account the probability distribution of demand, and we should attempt to prepare an optimistic prediction of demand as also pessimistic prediction of demand along with the expected prediction demand. And if the optimistic prediction come true, then large capacity addition have to be built and the process has to start immediately. And on the other hand, if the pessimistic prediction come true, then the capacity additions need to be much smaller and slower. In between is the expected predicted demand. And so this is about today's section. The generation of capacity plan we will discuss on next class. So in between any doubts, you can contact us anytime, and also refer last videos for continuation. And this is about today. Thank you so much. For more MBA videos, you just do like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you.
i-tutor Academy presents Ignoumba MBA complete syllabus coverage classes for individual students, semester-wise subject with online and flexible timing. For more details, contact on +916 238 217 885.